So last week I made a video talking about 3 things that I really like about Rocket Racing, and in that video I promised that I'd make a video this week talking about additions that I want to see come to Rocket Racing. So that is precisely what I'm going to be doing in today's video, but before I do get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on to never miss a piece of Rocket Racing content. So at the moment I feel like Rocket Racing is fairly bare bones. I've not gone crazy into the ranks yet at the moment, so I've not been able to experience all of the tracks because I seem to get introduced to more and more as I climb the ranks. So at the moment I'm just seemingly playing the same maps over and over again, but the game is very playable and fun for me, so I don't mind that too much. But I do fear that that will eventually get quite repetitive. So I think the most important addition that they need to make to Rocket Racing is just adding more ways to play the game. Now this could be done in a number of ways. You could add more modes that sort of change the way the game plays, so you could add weapons like in Mario Kart for example, which will add even more chaos to an already very chaotic game, and that would drastically change the way the game plays. And there are already weapons in the Rocket League Rumble game mode, so you've already got them to look at for inspiration. So I think that could be a lot of fun if they did that. But then there are plenty of other ways that you can play racing games like time trials, drift challenges, and so much more. Potentially even drag racing would be quite fun. So like I said, there is a lot they can do with this game, and so many more ways to play can be added. And I think that is ultimately what will keep the player retention high with this game. And I think for creators like myself, having more ways to play would be even fun for more content, especially with the likes of drift challenges and time trials and whatnot. So hopefully from season 1 onwards we'll start to see more things like that, and even just a roadmap of some kind would be really nice to see in the new year. But the next addition I'd like to see in Rocket Racing is tournaments. So this is also sort of building on the more ways to play kind of things, but I would love to see some kind of tournament setup where perhaps at the start of the tournament you have 2 races, so 12 per race, and in that first race perhaps the bottom 4 get knocked out, which means that there's either 2 races of 8 or 1 race of 16, and then in the second race you could have another 4 people knocked out per race, or if it's 16 in one race you then have 8 knocked out. So then you've got 8 players left, where you could do a third race that knocks out a further 4 players, so you've then got 4 players remaining in the final race, which you could then have as the ultimate decider. Something like that I think would be a lot of fun, and seeing some kind of reward for winning those tournaments I think would be really good as well, because it means there's even more incentive to play them. And I do just want to see some kind of ranked reward in general. Rocket League does a great job with ranked rewards every season, so I'm hoping that Rocket Racing will do something similar. Now the final addition I really want to see is just more cosmetic options. At the moment there's only 3 to 4 cars in the game, so there isn't a huge amount of variety to choose from. And whilst you can customise your car in fun ways with regards to the decal and the colour, there aren't really too many other options, so I think it would be really fun to ultimately just see more cars. But in similar fashion to Rocket League, I think it would be great to have different colours and effects for when you're boosting, because I think that could look really fun, and the same for drifting as well. When you're drifting you normally get that spark, so having different effects in that I think could be a lot of fun as well. If you look at the most recent Need for Speed, they added what looks very much like cartoon drift boosts and smoke and everything like that, so those kinds of effects I think would be pretty interesting to see in Rocket Racing as well. And ultimately the more cosmetics they provide, the more money they will then earn, which will help in further developing the game for hopefully years to come. So guys, they are the 3 biggest additions that I want to see come to Rocket Racing in the future. I think they're all pretty realistic requests, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we started to see some of them in season 1 or 2, but I'm very keen to hear what additions you'd like to see come to Rocket Racing as well, so please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more Rocket Racing content. That is it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you out there on the track.